Joining me now, Hans von Spakovsky, a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation and a former Justice Department official. Hans, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you got it. So we'll jump right in here. What did the IG report say about the FBI and DOJ as an institution as a whole?
Well, look, that 500-page report is permeated with showing partisan bias and, to use the words of the IG, a gross lack of professionalism. And that shows a cultural problem deep inside the FBI. Christopher Wray says, oh, it's only limited to a small number of people. Well, he may not have read the section, for example, where it says that dozens of FBI agents and officials disclosed non-public information about a confidential law enforcement investigation to reporters, and did so apparently in exchange for gifts like golf outings and tickets to sporting events. I mean, that shows a problem throughout the FBI. Particularly not just among agents, but also among the leadership.
Hans, you're a former DOJ official. About how many people work for the FBI?
Well, look, it's true that there are thousands of people that work for the FBI, but the fact that you had this generally widespread problem, for example, of leakage, shows that there's a problem, I think,
we're talking
throughout
about
the culture.
12 people, and you just said there are thousands who work there, and you heard Christopher Wray, the director, say, they came to some conclusions in this report, but it does no way reflect on the department as a whole. But I want to move on because I want to ask you, does the IG report render the Mueller investigation biased, thus faulty?
Well, it raises big questions about the Mueller investigation. There's a line in the middle of the report where the IG says that it's unclear whether Peter Strzok's obvious bias caused him to de-emphasize the Clinton investigation in order to switch to the Russia investigation. That's just one little inkling of the kind of problems that it shows may be there with that Russia investigation.
Does the IG report totally exonerate the president from allegations being investigated by Robert Mueller?
Well, no, because it doesn't deal with that issue. But I think it raises a lot of questions about the Mueller investigation. And I think it raises questions about the FBI that people like Peter Strzok haven't been immediately terminated. Instead, they've been
taken off that. He was taken off that particular investigation right away.
Yeah, but look, again, using the IG's words, the gross lack of professionalism amongst the agents assigned to the Clinton investigation, including Peter Strzok, they should have been immediately terminated, not referred to the bureaucratic Office of Professional Responsibility. And I think that's something that Congress, frankly, ought to demand. All of the FBI agents who engaged in unethical and unprofessional behavior in this case need to be fired and terminated immediately. That's a lesson that's got to be seen throughout the FBI.
What does the IG report, Hans, say about Hillary Clinton emails and her email server?
Well, the IG is very careful to say that he's not substituting his judgment to look at the prosecutorial decisions made. But I think the report makes it clear that agents limited the investigation. There were electronic devices they didn't try to get from Hillary Clinton. There were a lot of things they didn't do. They granted immunity when they didn't need to witnesses like Huma Abedin and others when they could have simply subpoenaed documents. I mean, they seem to have gone soft in the Hillary investigation, much different from the very hard stance they're taking in the Mueller investigation.
So you, again, a former DOJ official, you were there on the inside. You don't seem to have a lot of confidence in the department now. What changed from when you were there and now? Well,
it's very clear that Barack Obama and under him Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch politicized the Department of Justice in a way it had never been before. And I think this report shows that—
How did they do that, sir?
They did that by allowing partisanship to come into the decision-making on investigations and prosecutions. And I think you see the same thing has happened to the FBI also.
And do you think they should have called off Comey from going out a few weeks, a month before the election and give that extensive report on Hillary Clinton and then going, yeah, but all of that, and then she's not going to be prosecuted. I mean, you see, so it appears that the Democrats at that particular time were sort of caught between a rock and a hard place in not wanting to seem to tip the scales in favor of Hillary Clinton at the time. So maybe, just maybe, they were trying to exercise some fairness.
Yeah, but the mistake that James Comey made was it wasn't his decision whether or not to prosecute. The FBI's job is to investigate. That investigation goes to the Attorney General. It's the Attorney General that makes that decision whether or not to prosecute. So Comey was insubordinate, and he broke standard DOJ rules on how to handle a case.
Listen, Hans, I appreciate your answering the questions. I apologize to you that I didn't have the other side, so I had to ask some of those questions myself.
That's okay.
But thank you for answering, and we will, listen, there's a lot to be parsed out of this whole investigation, and we'll be analyzing it for weeks and months to come, and years, I'm sure. Hans?
Yeah, 600 pages worth.
Yeah. Thank you, Hans.
Sure.
Eric? Oh, well, no, me, still. By the way, I want to let you know there is more fallout from the Inspector General's report.